Thank you. Okay, let me go over a couple of the points. What we're learning now is a couple of Yisodos, which I think will take us a lot further in understanding not just the depth of the depth of this, but how things work in the Bria. That's what we're learning here. How things work. It's like what's the schematic of the entire Bria. So we were talking about at the beginning of the week is that when we say Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach La'olam Olamei Omaya, so the kavana is that according to Machzor Vitri, Toysa Springs, the Yehei Shmei, Yehei Shem Hashem, Shem Kof, Shem Yud Hey. It's pointed out that none of the Sidurim does it say Shem Yud Hey. Okay, that's a question of the Sidurim, not a question. I mean, Toysa says that Yehei Shmei is not just his name, but it's Yehei Shem Kof. The Ka, Yud Hey, that particular name, or the beginning of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, right, which is the explicit name, is the highest place. What that means is that if you'll examine the names of Hashem, so what you'll see is that it goes Yud Hey Vav Hey. That's the way it works. And the Vav Hey, which is the second part of that Shem, has to do with this world, and the Yud Hey, which is the first part of this world, is the first part of creation. The higher part, if you will, has to do with the before creation. So therefore, we say B'Yah Hashem Sur Elamim. That with the Yud Hey, Hashem created the world. That's like the name of creation. Elokim is already Midas Hadin, is already in this world. Reishis Bar Elokim. That's way after. But when we're talking about the Shem Yud Hey, we're always talking about a higher world before the whole world was created and formed. It's important to understand this. This comes up all the time. That what the different shemas of Hashem is. We're not mekubalim here, but lefi mashi yodenu maseges. What we need to understand is the Yud Hey refers to a higher world, the world of creation, creation of Olam Hazeh, creation of Olam Haba. Ki b'Yah Hashem sur Elamim. When we talk about Amalek, we talk about what was the damage that Amalek did. Not just that they were a bunch of anti-Semites, which they were, and like these Nazis, but besides for that, the Torah says Kiyad al Kes Yah Milchama Lashem Ba'Amalek. That there's a different spiritual dimension to the problem of Amalek. It's not just that they're going to Chas v'Shalom create gas chambers. It's just. We're talking about on a spiritual level that their hand Kiyad al Kes Yah, that there's this Yah, which is, I'm using the explicit names for educational purposes. Don't try this at home. when there's the Shem Yud Hey, which nobody reaches, and Amalek reached. Kiyad al Kes Yah. They put their hand up. Milchama LaHashem Ba'Amalek, and this is. The Amalek had this koach of fighting with the whole involvement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. The involvement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world would be the Vav Hey, correct? Yud Hey, Vav Hey. No, we're stuck at the Yud Hey, meaning the involvement is not there. So we need to, by Timche as Zecher Amalek, where Hashem says even on himself, Machai Emche as Zecher Amalek, that by getting rid of that hand, it's like an eclipse of the Yud Hey of Hashem. So then there's Hashgacha Pratis in this world. By the way, if this sounds esoteric, I could explain it to you in a very simple way. That what Amalek did was they said, like, everybody was all taken with the miracles of Hashem, the Kriyas Yamsuf, the Aser Rakos. Everyone was all taken with this. Well, right? There's Hashem. Yesh Hashem b'kirbeinu. And Amalek came along and said, no, like, this can be explained by nature. This can be explained. The Klal Yisrael is not untouchable. We could do a war with the Jewish people. Like it's not the end of the world. We still have a shlita in this world. This is not Star Wars, like the powers of darkness against the powers of light. That's not what we're talking about. In other words, what they did is they pushed away what was obvious, what was common understanding that Hashem is involved in the world. That's the way it was. Hashem was in Gan Eden. It was obvious that Hashem was in Gan Eden until it wasn't obvious, and Adam and Chava were hiding from Hashem in Gan Eden. But until they were hiding, it was obvious that Hashem is in this world. That's Yud, K, Vav, K. So Milchama la Hashem ba'amalek, the Rashi says it clear that the Kiyad case called Ein ha Shem Shalem. Think about it for a second. It's so clear. Ein Hashem Shalem. What's missing in the Shem? Vav, Hey, right? Ein Hashem Shalem. So what does that mean, Ein Hashem Shalem? What do they do to the Shem Hashem? Meaning, yes, there's a Yud K, but where's the Vav K? There's no involvement of Hashem in this world. That's what the Vav K stands for. Ein Hashem Shalem, Ve'ein Kiseh Shalem. Yad al Kes, instead of Kiseh, Ka, instead of Yud K, Vav K. So what we're talking about here is Ein HaKiseh Shalem, which I want to explain today. What does that mean, Ein HaKiseh Shalem? What does that even mean? But all of a sudden it went from a Kiseh to a case, taking the Aleph out. So that's the Amalek. The Zohar says that Amalek brought out a certain klipa, if you will, called the klipas chutzpah. Klipas chutzpah was Amalek. It was a chutzpah, like everybody's afraid of Hashem, everybody's afraid of Klal Yisrael. We're not afraid. That's chutzpah, right? It's chutzpah. That chutzpah gave the world the nerve to deny Hashem's involvement in the world. So what we're talking about when we talk about Mechias Amalek, when we talk about Zechiras Amalek, why is this also important? What we're really talking about with all of this is Vav K. What we're talking about is Hashem involved in this world. That's what we're talking about. So that's Yesod Aleph that we learned, and I just wanted to make it clear. When did Amalek attack us? Exactly when the Bnei Yisrael said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ein Hashem b'kirbeinu. So they said, Ein Hashem b'kirbeinu, like, what's going on? We're going out to the desert. Ein Hashem b'kirbeinu, what are we going to eat? Who's going to protect us? Whoa. The minute they said, Ein Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, b'kirbeinu, so Amalek said, I'll show you what not b'kirbeinu means. Milchama Hashem b'Amalek. And Amalek came, and they attacked.
Amalek must have been, Amalek touched the Kehillat Shivtei, must have been a very spiritual Shaar.
Esav. Esav.
And we say they're affecting
Each
the Jews.
Sada in the field.
And we say they're affecting the Jews, and that's what's connecting up to Kiseh HaKavod?
Both ways. There's a machai emcha and machai timcha. In other words, there's the whole mechanism. But again, like they changed the attitude of the world. That's point B with the Yud Hey that I spoke about was that Tosfos, that same Tosfos speaks about, is tefillah in Aramaic. So tefillah in Aramaic, we always say shelo yiskanu hamalachim, so that the malachim shouldn't be jealous of us. It's a very strange concept I pointed out. Like, all of a sudden the malachim are jealous of us. Sometimes we're inviting the malachim, like it comes to a bris, we say, "Oh, malach Rafael is there." We say Kriya Shema Lamita, malach Shalom Aleichem, malach Yashar. What do we? All of a sudden we're politics with the malachim, kino with the malachim. So the answer to that I explained, which I think is Emes Lamitoy, is that we don't have politics with the malachim as long as the olam is kiminhagai hoylech. So Hashem created a bria. The bria is bria, atzilus, bria, yitzira, asiya. The malachim are doing their job. We're doing our job. Everything's doing. Hashem's doing His job. Kiviyachol. Everything's going kiseder, and nobody's stepping on anybody's toes. Right. So this is like an important thing that nobody's stepping on anybody's toes. Malachim are careful with each other. That's what Rafal. I'm in charge of Refuah. Don't get involved here with the Malach Hamavas. That's your job is to be Rofei, not to be Horeg. And Malach Hamavas don't start being Marapet people. Like the Malachim are very careful. At Klal Yisrael, as Reb Tzadok says, or the Rab Chal says, first the Lashon of the Rab Chal, there's no difference between a Malach and a person. Ella, that a person has Bechira Chavshus and a Malach doesn't. We're all busy bees, workers for the Kavod Hashem in this world. So there's no difference. So there should be no politics as long as nobody's stepping on everybody's toes. You know how it works. Like if you have a well-greased machine, everybody's doing their job and everybody's cooperating, and it's a. But the moment somebody tries to do somebody else's job, right? Do we see this? The minute somebody tries to do somebody else's job, chaos, because he's doing a good thing. Doing a good thing. What could be wrong with doing a good thing? Doing a good thing, you think you're doing a good thing, but you don't have all the background and and the kavod for the person who's doing what they're doing. So everybody means well, but so this is the same thing. Everything has to go. The most sophisticated clock is much less than the sophistication of the bria. Then we're told that we can, at times, ein mazal Yisrael, like we can go above the mazolis. That's going out of the box, out of the system. We can go above the malachim, out of the system. Well, this is what by the way, our humanity takes us to, our Bechira Chavshus takes us to. We go higher and higher and higher, and along the way, as we're shooting up to the top, all the malachim are saying, "What's going on over here? Who put you in charge over here?" And so Moshe Rabbeinu comes up to the Shamayim on Har Sinai, and the malachim start screaming, "Mali Yeludisha!" Boy, what are you doing here? Like, what do you have what are you doing here? You're a human. You're a mortal. What are you doing here? And Hashem said, "You need to answer them. What you're doing here." And the same. So we go. The mazoles could have the same taina. They're there to control things. The malachim have the taina, higher malachim, and then we go all the way to the top. The top is called in Hashem Yud Hey. So we're going straight up to the Yud Hey, to the Shem Hashem. Whenever we do that, to avoid politics, we go Aramaic, because with Aramaic we don't have to be in the face of the malachim. For whatever reason, malachim don't understand Aramaic, probably don't understand English either, but they speak Lashon HaKodesh, that's the language of the Bria. So to avoid that politics, so to speak, we speak in Aramaic. So therefore, I'll give you a perfect example of this. Brich Shmei Demari Alma. We're talking Brich Shmei. What does Shmei mean? Shmei Yud Hey. So it has to be in Aramaic. But the Brich Shmei has unbelievable powers. That's something like, I always say Brich Shmei with a lot of, say every word, say the Kavanah, that should be said slowly. That shouldn't be a blah, blah, blah. Brich Shmei. It's more important than Vayehi B'Tza'aro that everybody sings, and it's more important than everything. The Brich Shmei is a very important. We say it when the Aron is open. But it's not the pshat we say when the Aron is open. We open the Aron to say Brich Shmei. It's a tremendous kavanah. What's the kavanah of Brich Shmei? Devar Elba. Look at the words next time. It's Brich. We're Mevarach Shem Yud Hey. With this we're going straight up to the Shem Yud Hey. We're going straight above the malachim, above the oil of Yitzira, above the oil of. We're going all the way up. How high can we go? We can go up to the world of Bria, Kiseh HaKavod, which because Rabbi asked me to explain it, I'm going to. But that's why Brich Shmei is in Aramaic. It has to be in Aramaic. Why is Kaddish in Aramaic? Because we're going Yehei Shmei. Whenever we're talking about Shmei, whenever you're going to the Yud Hey, you're going above all of the world. It has to be in Aramaic. Or in the words of the Kaddish, La'olam, Ul-Olmei, Olmaya. I should say it the other way. La'olam, Ul-Olmei, Olmaya. So the point is we're going through all of the different worlds, three worlds, the Chazal say. The world of Olam, the world of Olmei, which is two worlds, which is Bria and Yitzira, Almaya, to this world. So we're surpassing all of the systems. Protexia. We're going around. When you do protexia, as I said last time, or as my father used to say, red Yiddish. Like you don't talk, you don't. Right, they're familiar with the. I remember when I lived in Australia, good mashal, I lived in Australia, so it was a long trip, Australia to New York, a long trip, 24 hours by the time you get there. Hawaii, New Zealand, the Fiji Islands, and every place where you need to stop. Australia, so I had a friend, the Kollel Bais HaTalmud, so he had a connection with the airport, so he said, when you go there, they'll upgrade you to business class. This was like Gan Eden, because to sit for 24 hours in a coach seat was was a difficult thing, and I had to speak right off the plane. So I said, okay, so when I get to the airport, who should I talk to? No one. Don't say a word. He tells you, you're going to get to the counter, and they're going to say, you're going coach. They'll give you a word. Shh, don't say a word. You're going to get to security. Don't say a word. You're going to get to the desk. Don't say a word. You get on the plane. Don't say a word. Your seat will be in business class. I said, red Yiddish. And I didn't believe it really. This was not points, this was protexia, like he had I went all the way, and I'm sitting in the back row of the plane, coach in front of the bathroom, and okay, this guy has Kollel Bais, and just before the plane take off, so he says, excuse me, sir, we'd like to reseat you in the all of a sudden I'm not in business now. First class, and it was a geweldig. So, now if I would have said a word, it would have ruined the whole thing. So this is the pshat, and we speak Aramaic, Brit Shmei, Kaddish, a lot of things like that. We speak, we do Aramaic. Don't talk, because we're going against the system, if you will. And we're going, and whenever we're doing that, you'll see we're going up to the Shem Yud Hey. I want to speak more about the Yud Hey when we do the Hagah, because that's why Yud, why Hey. This is very, very deep and very, very beautiful how that works. But let's do Rabbi Yitzchak's request for a minute, saying that okay, Eil Hashem Sholem, Eil HaKiseh Sholem. Amalek blocks both the Shem Hashem, there's no Vav Hey, and there's no Kiseh. It's a case. There's no Aleph. What happened to the Aleph of the Kiseh? What does Amalek have to do with the Kiseh? And we said, flippantly, the Kiseh HaKavod is, here's what we know with the Kiseh HaKavod. Number one, it's another world, it's another word for the world of Bria. Remember, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, Asiya. Another word for that is Kiseh HaKavod. That's where we get to. In other words, when we're surpassing the Malachim, we're surpassing everything, we get to the world of Bria. So you could say we're getting to the world of the Kiseh HaKavod, synonymous, if you will. We also know about the Kiseh HaKavod, that the Kiseh HaKavod is the world of neshamas. That's where neshamas are created, in the Kiseh HaKavod. And particularly, the world of neshamas of tzaddikim, Gnuzais tachas Kiseh HaKavod. They're the Geniza under the Kiseh HaKavod. Mazot Ober. It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a number of Chafetz Chaims in his bin, and whenever the generation needs one, he releases one. And he keeps them, Gnuzais tachas Kiseh HaKavod, he keeps them stored in a special safe, tachas Kiseh HaKavod, and when the world needs a tzaddik, there is a tzaddik. Always been. Never been a generation where there wasn't the tzaddik, Big politics amongst us, who that may be. but it's a very interesting thing, by the way. Like when you get to the real tzaddik, there's no controversy. I never heard there was politics around the Chafetz Chaim. Politics around Hillel. Once he became the Nasi, it was the Nasi. There's some rise above, just like we could rise above, like they just rise above it. So that's but what we really don't understand. What does it mean? The Kiseh, the neshamas, the world of Bria. So let me explain a little bit. Kiseh HaKavod. What we can understand. Look, the Bereshis, that's Maver Sedra. Bereshis bar Elokim es hashamayim beis haaretz. That's in Bereshis 1:1. V'haaretz haisas sayhu v'avayhu v'choshech al pnei ta'ayim. The world was tohu v'avayu, dark. V'ruach Elokim Merachefes al pnei hamayim. That is our proof text this morning. Beruach Elokim Merachefes al pnei hamayim. Simple translation, Gil?
Spirit of Hashem, the Ruach of Hashem, is hovering above the water.
hovering above the water.
Is that our ruach?
Huh?
Is that where our, when we said ruach elokim, does that mean our ruach?
That's the Kiseh HaKavod.
Okay.
Rashi.
Obviously. Look, Rashi. Ruach Elikim merachefes, says Rashi, as Gil says, Kiseh HaKavod. Oimed ba'avir. Kiseh HaKavod, oimed ba'avir. It's Rashi on Chumash, no, not the Arizal. Kiseh HaKavod, oimed ba'avir. He doesn't need this shot. Ruach Elikim merachefes alabayim. Everybody's happy. He doesn't need this, No, don't get so happy. Kiseh HaKavod, oimed ba'avir. Umerachef al pnei hamayim beruach piv shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Here's a Rashi.
The Rashi doesn't even say it's a medrash. Rashi's mashma that this is a shot. There's other places before and after me.
No medrash here, no Gemara, nothing. In fact, it isn't.
Huh?
I found the Yerushalmi says this. He doesn't quote. Ubimamarai. Baruch Piv Shal HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ubimamarai. I read that. And so the Ruach Elikim is the Kiseh HaKavod, and the Kiseh HaKavod Pshat. Moshe says right. Pshat. The Kiseh HaKavod is Oimed Ba'avir. So here's the Bria. Hashem just made the Bria, and here's the Kiseh HaKavod. Umerachef al HaBria. What does that mean? Says Rashi. Merachef al pnei hamayim. Beruach piv shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'mamoreh. Asar mamoris nivra olam. Hashem created the world with dibur. That dibur is hovering over the water. Ki Yonah hamrachefes alakein. Like a Yonah, like a dove. Yes, and Shul, we just spoke about the dove. Ki Yonah hamrachefes, which is merachef. Ruach Elikim is mefarish. Merachefes al pnei hamayim. That's not a new dibur amaskal. Merachefes. Same thing. The same Rashi. Merachefes, hovering, as you said. What does merachefes mean? So Rashi says, Ki Yoina. How is the Kiseh HaKavod hovering over the mayim like a Yoina? Like a Yoina hamrachefes alakein. And if you have a fancy chumash like mine, it says, here it doesn't say, it's if you have a Mikros Gedolos, it says, Chagiga Tezvav Amabeis, or Tezayin Amadal. This is Rashi's Makor, Ki Yoina Merachefes Alakein. Meaning he's trying to bring out, like a dove hovers over its nest, apparently. And so too,
You have the Nesher in the end.
so Gil asked the question. You're sharp today. That's good. Gil asked the question, why does Rashi have to go all the way to Chagiga Tazayin when it's a before pasuk in Hazinu of Kenesher Yorik Hinai Merachefes Al Goizalav Yerachef, same lashon of Yerachef. So if you want to understand, why does he have to bring a Gemara in Chagiga like it's like a Yonah? Torah doesn't say a Yonah is Merachef. Torah says a Nesher is Merachef. So why doesn't he just bring the Nesher? Why does he bring the Yonah? That's Gil's question. Good question. Like what's what does it mean exactly that it's Kiseh HaKavod is hovering? Rashi wants to say, don't make a mistake. It's not hovering like an eagle. It's hovering like a dove. Got it? It's not hovering like an eagle. It's hovering like a dove. Huh?
The eagle would be much higher like the dove.
An eagle is a hunter as well. The dove I've actually seen as a symbol of like end of machlokas, or peace, of the mammal.
So what's Chagiga Tazayin? Gemara says in Chagiga, Gemara mentioned many times. This will be the hint to the whole thing. The Gemara there says, Arba nichnasu la Pardes. That's the Gemara that it's referring to. So, Arba nichnasu la Pardes, Rabbi Kiva ben Zayma ben Azai, Elisha ben Abuya, Acher, went to the Pardes. Ben Azai Meis, it's Chazal. Ben Azai died from the experience. Ben Zoyma Nifka, Ben Zoyma apparently lost his mind from the experience. Acher, Elisha ben Avuya became Acher. Kitzetz ben Atiyos became an Apokaris. And Rabbi Kiva Nichnas B'Shalom V'Yatzav B'Shalom Tzaddik. Rabbi Kiva, not that Ben Azai wasn't a tzaddik. Soid Hashem Lireya, that's Ben Azai. But he was on a level where it was Nichnas B'Shalom V'Yatzav B'Shalom. He may have made a mistake. I wouldn't have the guts to say this, but the Ramat Mifano says he made a mistake taking in juniors into the seance. This was very, very sophisticated. What was this Kabbalistic learning session about? Arba Nichnasu Pardes. The pshat is the real pshat in that story is that the world is having, Klal Yisrael is having, Eretz Yisrael is having terrible Yisurim from the Romans, killing at that point of the Hadrian decrees, concentration camps and killing people. And it wasn't just the Gzeira on Torah. It was the Hadrian decrees were worse. The original Romans, they were machrid the Beis HaMikdash. It's like a war, of Titus, etc. The Hadrian decrees, 70 years later, that was already, let's get rid of the Jews. That was already a Nazi formation, and they killed Rabbi Akiva. They killed. It was brutal. And the question was, why is Hashem doing this? Or the deeper question was, how could it be that the world is run by Hashem? And how could it be that just a few years ago we had a Beis HaMikdash and miracles even? How could it be that after all this time in Eretz Yisrael, we're being thrown out? Where's Hashem? Where's Hashem? Like a where was God in the Holocaust type of a question. Rabbi Kiva took the closest Talmidim, the Gedolim, through a process of trying to understand the pshat, the remez, the drush, the soid of where is Hashem, where is the Hashgacha Pratis. That is the importance of the background of the story of Arba Nichnasu Pardes. Now, it did not work out very well. It was not a successful mission. It was a Kabbalistic mission, but the Rabbi Kiva was good with it. But Acher was not good with it. What was the Nakuda here? It just, by the way, what I'm saying is pretty much in the Gemara. I'm not saying any like new pshat, The pshat was that what it looked like, the Gemara speaks about matatroin and all kinds of things, like it's the Agadah that they skip in yeshivas. What it looks like to the unsophisticated viewer is that there's a world here and there's a world there. And what's happening of Hester Panim is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu separated himself from the world. That's the way it looks. And when you take a really deep look at it, Elisha ben Avuya said, well, so if Hashem is no longer in the world, so I'm no longer in the game, and I'm not going to do mitzvah. I'm going to do Torah. I know Torah. He knew Torah. He was the Gadol Ador, but it's not. Rabbi Meir, of course, held that you can't judge a person from. It's like 4 people go through a concentration camp in the Holocaust. Yeah, I mean, those who are old enough to know now that people came out different. One came out a bigger maimon, one came out an apokaris. like kachaza, now you can always say, well, 2 people have the same experience, but even the ones that seemingly had the same experience, some got Chizuk, I guess is the wrong word for it, but some became closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and some became further, and some became terrible apokaris and kachaza. Different people reacted. That's the Arba Nichnasu Lapartes, to try to understand that this was the worst time in history, maybe from then till the Holocaust. Maybe it was the worst time for the Jewish people. Anyways, Ben Zoymo lost, couldn't reconcile. Kodesh Baruch was here, or there. Like, where is the Hashgacha Pratis? Ben Azai died. Hitzitz v'meis. So the Gemara goes a little further, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time or not, but the Gemara goes a little bit further, a page later, and says that, okay, Ben Zoma was the one who was Nifka, kind of lost it. I don't know if that's what Nifka means, but that's the way people translate it. Nifka. It's Pogeya in him. So the Gemara says the story that Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania was walking al Gav Echad Bahar Abayis. There was no, see, he walked on the Har Abayis, right? He went al Gav Echad Bahar Abayis, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania. He was visiting, like we go to the Kaisel, like he was visiting Har Abayis. It was destroyed. There was nothing on the Har Abayis, but there were pillars, half broken pillars, that kind of thing. And that's where he went to daven, to visit. And he sees Ben Zoma sitting on a pillar on the Har Abayis. So this is the Gemara story. And Ben Zoma looks deep in thought, out of it. And he said to him, Ben Zoma, what are you thinking about? What are you involved with here on the Har Abayis? So Ben Zoma told him that I'm thinking about the Mayim El Yoinim and the Mayim HaTachtoinim. Ve'ein bein zu lezu el gimel atzpos. And there's really the distance between the Mayim El Yoinim and the Mayim HaTachtoinim is gimel atzpos. Like Rishonim, if it's this way or this way, but it means a tefach. Gimel atzpos is a tefach. So it's a tefach between the Mayim El Yoinim and the Mayim HaTachtoinim. Shenebmar, as it says in the Torah, Ben Zoma said, I could just see this, you asked me. Right? As it says in the Torah, Ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim. This is the Gemara that Rashi is quoting. Ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim. Rashi says from Ben Zoma, this is Ben Zoma, the Nifka, he's quoting, that Kiyoina shemerachefes al boneha. No gas, no geya. That's what he says. That's what Rashi brings. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania looks at Ben Zoma and he says, Adayin ben Zoma bachutz, which again is wrongly taken to mean like he's out of it. Bachutz. He's like, I don't know what he's thinking about, what he's doing. He wasn't so bachutz. Let me just explain what I think. What the story is. You see, when you learn the story wrong, you say that Ben Zoma was talking about the closeness of the Mayim to the Mayim. Ein bein Mayim hel yonim l'Mayim atachtonim el gimel atzpos bilbad. Like a yonim. Truth is, from Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania's point of view, Gimel Atzmais is way too much. Because he says, the Yerushalmi brings the story, he says, Eino yela kamale nima, it's like a hair. Not a teva, a hair, which is the smallest shear in the Torah. When you want to say hair, when you want to say the small shear, you say kamale nima, like a hair. That's the width of it. It's like what Ben Zoma was claiming, what he was positing, was that why are we having? What did I learn in the Pardes? That why we're having so many tsaras? It's because there's gimel atzpos. It doesn't mean that there's no Hashem, and it doesn't mean Hashem's not watching the world. But there is a tefach between Mayim El Yonim and Mayim HaTachtonim, and that tefach is another way of saying it's not Malei Kol Haaretz Kivoidai. It's another way of saying that right now the Hester Panim is such that there's a separation, and we're not seeing the Hashgacha Pratis that we saw, let's say, during the time of the Bais Rishon. We're not seeing that. That's what Ben Zoma was saying. This wasn't Mishigas. This was perhaps a wrong takeaway from the experience of the Pardes. Who are we to even say these words, he's going to come to me in a dream tonight, and I'm going to be really sorry about this year. but I'm just saying, L'Zaber Soizen, I'm just saying that Ben Zoyma's takeaway from it was, okay, why is there so many problems? Because there's Gimel at Spice. And Rabbi Shua ben Chananya says, Adayin Ben Zoyma b'chutz. Not that he's out of it. Adayin Ben Zoyma b'chutz, he's not chapping the hashgacha pratis of the pnim. He's not getting the pnim. You see, Rabbi Akiva L'Shitasai, who was nichnas b'shalom, b'yotza b'shalom, he said, Kol man da'avid rachman l'tavad, but there's no such thing as a lack of hashgacha pratis. You see, the question became, what is Hester Panim? What is Hester Panim? When Hashem is hiding from us, so it can be taken to one extreme of Elisha ben Avuya. Well, he's just not here, not involved with this world anymore. He went on to other important endeavors. He's just not here anymore. You know, in the 50s, there was a big movement called God is Dead. Like the God is Dead movement. It was it was a big, like he was there, he died. Like, it was a big movement. A Reform rabbi he wrote a book, and it became like really big. Okay, God is dead. You know, like it's Elisha ben Avuya movement. It's the Elisha ben Avuya movement. It just okay. He was here. I learned, But when I went through the Pardes with Rabbi Akiva, look what he saw. He saw, for whatever it's worth, he said, I see that the Metatron is a malach, the chief malach, right, is in charge, not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yelled at the Metatron. And said, why are you acting like you're in charge? It goes back to our political issues. And like, he acting like you're in charge, And Hashem scolded the Metatron. But that's what Elisha ben Avuya took away from it. That's Rabbi Akiva took the opposite lekach. Okay, sometimes there's Hester Panim, sometimes there's Gilui Panim, Haaretz Panim, but it's all Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is everywhere. There's no question about this. And Ben Azai and Ben Zoyma, who, by the way, were not the level of Elisha ben Avuya, and certainly not Rabbi Akiva, they, Gimel at Spice, like it was Ben Zoyma was Gimel Adayin Ben Zoyma b'chutz. He doesn't understand yet. He doesn't understand. So I don't know, by the way, that Nifka means that he was Meshuggah in any. The Chazal say that he died shortly after this story, but I don't know that he was crazy. I think it's a wrong.
Wounded.
Nifka was wounded. He was
It affected his spirit.
traumatized. That's what Nifka means. Traumatized. That's what it means. Pegia, exactly. Somebody's pogea in me. It hurts, So he was Nifka.
Physical health as well.
Yes, and he died. Look, these were gedolim that were they were the heart, they were the lave of Klal Yisrael. It wasn't. They felt every single pain of every single Jew. So it was Nifka. He was Nifka, and he went. He was standing by the Har HaBayis. So the Har HaBayis, where is the Shechina? Where is the Shechina? Is the Shechina here now that there's a Chorban Beis HaMikdash? Is HaKadosh Baruch Hu even in this world anymore? How do you deal with that once there's a Chorban? We're good without the Beis HaMikdash. We're happy, but at the time, these Gedolim they couldn't understand. So it comes out that's Rashi's Makar, that it's like a Yoina. Now on the other hand, but it's interesting that a Yonah, somebody said, I don't remember, I apologize, but the difference between a Yonah and a Nesher is a different type of merachefes. You could be merachef, you could be hovering in two different ways. So the Nesher, Ya'ir Kinai, the purpose of the merachefes by the Nesher is to wake up. The Rashi says in Hazinu, Mekashkesh be'ilonais. He's making a big racket up there, because then the little baby eagles, they wake up, eaglets, they wake up, and it's a gentle thing. He's not touching a Yonah merachefes al banal. Chazal say nagea ve'ena nagea. Nagea ve'ena nagea. It's like a light touchdown. It's not it's not up here. Did you say this? Something like this? Yeah, like it's not up here like an eagle, which is in a different, not because it's soaring, but because this is the purpose of this is the relationship, if you will, between the eagle and the eaglets. A Yonah is much more edel, and its relationship is Nogeya, Ve'ena Nogeya, like it's not going to hurt it's not going to put weight on the Nogeya, Ve'ena Nogeya, it's there. So Ruach Elokim Merachefes Al Pnei Hamayim, so Rashi says, not like I could take you just a few parshas away into Hazinu. I'm going to take you all the way to the Gemara Chagiga Tazayin and tell you that it's not like an eagle, which is Kinesher Yoyer Kinoi. Al Goizolav Yirachev. I'm going to take you all the way to the Gemara, which tells us it's Kiyoyna Shenogeya Ve'ena Nogeya. This is Pshat in Rashi. So let's get clear here. What is Rashi explaining? Rashi is explaining how the relationship between the Kiseh HaKavod and the world. The Kiseh HaKavod, and this is the last, bear with me for 2 more minutes, and there's no clock here, so I can just keep on talking. What's the Kiseh HaKavod? Fi Havanaseinu. Kiseh HaKavod. A Kiseh, Rashi says at the beginning of Per Kavod, Yeshayahu, our Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. Mafti, right? Yomar Hashem Hashomayim Kisi Va'aretz Shomayim Kisi Va'aretz Hadoim Raglo Ve'ezeh Bayis Asher Tivnu Li Ve'ezeh Makom Menuchasi, right? That's Yeshayahu says. Kiseh, Beis Moishavos, says Rashi. Meaning, like this. Listen carefully, please. If you look at things in their scientific, natural way, that which is on the bottom is holding that which is above it. And the chair that I'm sitting on right now, if you will remove it, I will fall on the floor. And if you remove the floor, the chair and me will fall on the floor. That which is underneath is the yisoid. It's a basis, right? Even halacha, that which is underneath is always, you can't have something be a basis l'davar aser if it's on top. A basis has to be, usually, a basis has to be a basis, basis, where the word basis comes from. It's a base. So the bottom naturally, this is physics basic, right? That which is on the bottom holds that which is above it. The floor is holding our seats. In Ruchnius, in the real world, it's the Yukafuch, Punkt verkehrt. The Arain, Noise, Es, Noise. How could it be? So we say, okay, well, there was a weightlessness to the R. Why was there a weightlessness? It's not that it was weightless. That doesn't say that. It just says that it was weightless. It says that it carried the people that were carrying them, because in the world of Ruchnius, we are carried. That which is on the bottom is carried by that which is above it. And what that means is that the world that we live in, which is the world of Asiya, is being carried by the world of Yetzirah, which is above it, and the world of Asiya and Yetzirah is being carried by the world of Bria, Shehu Kiseh HaKavod. The Kiseh HaKavod is the Moishavoi Shel Olam, says Rashi. That's the seat. When we say Kiseh, we're not talking about the throne. You're imagining throne of Hashem. Forget about that. Let's forget about it. It's just childish. What we're talking about as a Kiseh is the Moshav. The weight-bearing, is that the right word? The weight-bearing chair here, or the Moshav, that which is holding the weight of the entire world, is not Asiya holding Yetzirah holding Bria, but it's Bria holding everything underneath it.
Suspension bridge.
Okay. So, I knew we had somebody here. So you understand what the lashon of Kiseh HaKavod is? Kiseh HaKavod is the base Moishavoi Shel Olam. That's Moishavoi Shel Olam. The Kiseh HaKavod is holding it. What's in the Kiseh HaKavod? Neshamas. You understand what it means? It means that the neshamas bifrat, neshamas shel tzadikim shegnuzos tachas Kiseh HaKavod. That is the Moishav of the world. You think that the world is holding us? Our neshamas are holding up the world. You can't underestimate the neshama of a Jew or even another person, anything with a neshama. That neshama, you think that the is walking around in your body. Your body is holding your neshama. Fartrug the neshama, like you're holding your heart or your brain. No, the neshama is holding the person. The neshama leaves, the person falls. Right? The neshama, and where are these neshamas? The neshamas are the Kiseh HaKavod. That's the neshamas, befrat the tzaddikim. Befrat, if you make yourself a tzaddik. This is carrying the entire world. It's carrying the entire world. It's so important. Let me just one more. Kadosh Baruch Hu is called Hamakoim. Hamakoim. Strange name. Ein ha'olam mekoimai, ein Elohu mekoimai shel olam. That's what Chazal say about the name Hamakom. Hamakom Yirachim Aleim. Hamakom Yinachem Eschem. This is the Makom. The Makom, the place as a Makom. The world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not in this world. Ein ha'olam mekoimai. Where is God? In the world. No. Ha'olam mekoimai. The world is being carried by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not that the world is carrying HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like we'd like to think. We're in the world, we're carrying Hashem. No. Ein ha'olam mekoimai. It's not like Hashem lives in the world. Hu mekoimai shel olam. That which is all the way on top, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's mekoimai shel olam. That's sefer the Welt. You see, like, so it's the same thing. So when we're talking about getting right down or right up to the Kiseh HaKavod, means getting right to the major support system. How does the world work? What's the real, so you could have like this really sophisticated machine. It was and while they're not looking, I just pull out the plug. Hey, what's going on? And the engineers come and they're fixing this and that, and okay, the plug. We're getting to the source of it. So the Klal Yisrael, see, Amalek was Pogea, and he got so deep that he's blocking the Kiseh HaKavod. He's not letting us go up to the Kiseh HaKavod because he's saying Hashem's not in this world. That's what he's saying, not in this world. But we can go all the way up to the makom of the Kiseh HaKavod, and that's where our neshamas are in the Kiseh HaKavod. You see, the Gemara tells us that Menashe HaMelech was the Rasha of Rishoyim, and the Malachim said when he wanted to do tshuva at the end. Malachim said, no way we're taking tshuva. He's a Rotzeach. He killed people. He was a terrible person. Who's doing tshuva here? Russia. Ad shechasar HaKadosh Baruch Hu chatira tachas Kiseh HaKavod. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a hole under the Kiseh HaKavod and he grabbed him up. It's beautiful imagery. But what does it mean? It means to say, look, we're going around the other end over here. But you want to go first class? Zakmishkin Vart, right? You can't say a word about this in the Malachim. So we daven in Aramaic, so Hashem's telling Menashe, I'll take you through this, but quiet. You're just don't talk Aramaic. Because who's he fighting with? Hashem? He's fighting with the Malachim. Malachim are just doing their job, because in the Teva Seder Abriya, the Malachim are in charge. But the point is this: the point is that Chosar Chatira Tachas Kiseh HaKavod. By the way, to be B'dayik, Tachas Kiseh HaKavod is the makom which is Genuzos L'Tzadikim. That's where you put Menashe. Which L'Lamdenu, the koach of tshuva.
Does this mean normal tshuva goes through Malachim?
Tshuva is to avoid Malachim.
But
normal tshuva goes through Malachim.
Normal tshuva goes through Malachim.
Yes. So we have to you have to know the koach here, that we have the keys to go into the back room. Meaning, we can really go above the whole thing. So that's the as much as I'm able to explain. That is the Kiseh HaKavod. That's the world of Bria. That's where we can go. That's why we daven in Aramaic, and that's what we're davening for whenever we say Yehei Shem Hashem Yud Kei Mevarach. We're saying the Shem Yud Kei Brich Shmei Demari Alma Shem Yud Kei, where it means to say we're going all the way up and around and up to the world of Bria, because the world of Bria, turn it like an upside down tree, right? It's like in the programming there's such a thing, right? Where the root is up there, right? It's the root. The root's here, and everything comes out of the root coming down this way. That's I don't know why they chop that, but this is the Bria. that we're talking about, that you can go to the root. Root's called Kiseh HaKavod because it's the base Moishavai Shel Ha'olam. It's carrying the world, and I think I explained everything except for the Nefesh Hachaim, correct? Sunday, if all goes well, so we'll meet in our building on Dolev 2. If that's not the case, so you'll get a communication. Dolev 12, is that what it is?
This sounds like the whole opening in the hay at the top.
12 is the new building.
Like you bypass everything
Exactly
else.
right. Exactly right.
Couple of questions.
Happen.
Does this state talk about the concept of